All right, so we're on the air. This is the OSRA Scrum for Thursday, May 7th, 2015, and here we have the biggest turnout in quite a few months. We have Christian, Gabrielle, Robbie, and myself. I guess let's just do it alphabetically. Christian, let's start with you.
Okay, so I've been working on my PR about the sponsor index filters in the Rails environment. That's done. I only want to do the refactoring for the filter scope on the sponsor model. The refactoring and also moving the filter method somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, in the helper, or maybe as you suggested, creating the presenter. Not sure at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had any time to look into it myself either, so sorry, I have no input at this time.
Yeah.
I was go. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to ask the pull request 365, the authentication, is that complete at this point?
Yes, of course, it's
Okay.
completed, it's tested, I don't know.
Okay. So this should be mergeable then. All right.
Well, it could use some code review, I don't know. Have you looked over it?
I've looked at it. Uh, I have looked at it. I don't remember if I actually reviewed it and left comments or if I just glanced through the code. So before I merge it, I definitely will have a look at it anyway. So yeah, but yeah, I should do that soon. That's been open for a while. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Other than that, I did a look over your PR about the admin users index. I think it's good to merge that too.
Yeah, well, I think Robbie's point is very valid that at this point we can that route is stubbed out on the in the sidebar. So yeah, it's time to put that in place. So I'll add that to the PR, and then I see that both you and Gabrielle thought that everything else was okay. So we can merge it after that.
Okay. Also, the PR from Gabriel, I left a small comment there, but probably it's not that important. You can merge the two if you want, unless Gabriel wants to work on it more.
Okay. Well, let's go to Gabrielle and hear what you have to say.
Yeah, my pull request, that one, 387. Actually, I think it's almost done, but I read the Christian suggestions about the test, and I also respond on the PR. Basically, yeah, it's what I say the I can for the second concern about the index why it's not redirecting is because when we create the sponsors, they have request orphans count of 5. So basically, I need to add 3 more orphans to the applications to redirect to the place.
Actually, I suggested to change that request to 2 instead of 5. If it's not
I also think of that. So I can try to change it and test all the suite to be sure that nothing is broken. And yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I can do it. In that way, we can make sure also that the duration is working.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the sponsor that's created up top in the setup, like in the backgrounds tab.
Sorry.
I don't know exactly.
The sponsor that has 5 requested orphans, you're not creating it, right? It's created already.
Yeah, it's great because the feature already when you are the first step of the test, when you add create the sponsor as a giving and a sponsor exists, for example.
Mhm.
So when you made that sentence in background, yeah, it's creating a sponsor, but with that request or from count of 5. So
Right, right.
basically, I need to change the file that I put the link there. I change the from 5 to 2, and then try to run it. Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, then the other thing that you can do is in your scenario, just create another sponsor.
Okay. Create. No, but I need to create. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you might have to create another step definition.
Yeah, I create manually a sponsor and I put I don't put so many requests or yeah, it
Mhm.
could be. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. It's good.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else, Gabriel?
Not yet. I try to finish with this pull request and then move to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. So, Robbie, do you want to tell us about where you're at and what your plans are for OSRA?
Yeah, so I've been looking at the admin users show functionality,
Mm-hmm.
and also just a bit of what you've done, Nick, on the index side of things. I did have a few questions. Do you want to tackle those now or wait till after the scrum, Nick?
Um, how about this? Let's finish the Scrum officially.
Yeah.
And I think I've actually said everything that I had to say. That the only PR that I have open, Christian and Gabriel have signed off on it. Robbie, you left a comment that, as I said, I think is very valid. So I'll add that to the code, and after that we can just merge it in. And the other thing that I need to start doing is reviewing pull requests. So I have Christian's 365 and Gabriel's 369. I'll be looking at that next and hopefully merging them in pretty soon. So, yeah.
One more thing about your pull request for the admin users.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to have a show?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess let's address that when we address Robbie's questions about it. So we can talk about all of it all together.
Okay.
So if there's nothing else for the Scrum, then let's call that a wrap. And yeah, let's go to that. So Robbie, let's start with your questions, and then I guess we can talk about all of it together.
Okay. So the first question was the difference between admin users and users in terms of what we've got in the database and that.
Yeah.
So what is the difference there?
So the admin users are the people who can actually log into the application right now.
Yeah.
Users are there is some duplication, I suppose, between users and admin users. Users represent the entire OSRA staff, whereas admin users represent OSRA staff who have access to the application itself.
Right. Okay.
So the users, not the admin users, but the users, at this point cannot log into the application.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just kind of they keep tabs on who is looking after which sponsors or whatever. Yeah,
That's right.
so,
Yeah. So
so
the admin users assign them
okay.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So users aren't people who log in. They're just kind of staff members who look after certain things. Yeah.
At the moment, but it's again, we need to revisit this with the client because we haven't talked about it for a long time. But I think users will become users of the application as well, just with lower permission levels than the admin users. So whenever we come around to implementing permissions and authorizations, we'll need to think about that.
Yes, might need a bit of redesign there. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. So the second question was, well, I guess it's getting a wee bit towards Christian's point there on the active admin screens for show. Yeah, for admin users show within active admin, there are a whole lot of fields displayed. Including the encrypted password. And I thought, who wants to see an encrypted password?
Yeah, there's probably not a lot of value to that.
Yeah, so there was a few fields there that I thought were really, should they be actually shown? I mean, there's certain, obviously, which are things like email and maybe the things that you've got in the index view. And there are other ones like, current sign-in at, last sign-in at, such and such thing.
Yeah.
And but there's also like current sign-in IP address and last sign-in IP address, which I thought that are they really?
Yeah.
So it was trying to get a list of the fields that are actually worth displaying in this, and I guess then it comes back to Christian's point: do you actually want to have a separate show? Or will the index just show all the fields that are necessary anyway? So,
yeah, my feeling on it is that, at least again from what I understand of the client's workflow, that there is not any utility in the show view for the admin users at all. Because they're just created, they can be managed as far as they need to be managed from the index view, and I think that's sufficient.
Okay, so I mean, one of the things that is specific there, and I wasn't sure about this, is comments, because there seems to be a link to comments, but I'm not sure how that is actually meant to be used or how they're using it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you go on show, you see the admin user, and you also see, I presume it's comments that he has raised against something or other, but
yeah.
I'm not sure if that's relevant or whatever. Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge, that is the functionality that came with active admin by default.
Right. Okay.
Basically, nobody asked for it. As far as I can tell, nobody has ever used it.
Yeah.
So again, we can, I think, pretty safely just drop it.
Okay.
Except in orphans, we have a comment column in the database created by us.
And is that associated with the orphan then, Christian, is it, or what?
Yeah, that's only for the orphan.
That seems to be a sensible place, but having something against admin users, I really couldn't see what the purpose was. So,
well, comments in active admin appear to be a completely separate entity.
Yeah.
So if there's this, top level menu item for comments, and I don't know, I would say in the high 90% sure that this is something that active admin created without anybody asking for it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So in that case, I think it really comes down to Christian's question: do you actually need a separate show, or can we just get away with whatever is there on the index?
Yeah, it sounds like we don't, huh? So I say let's not worry about it until the client, or unless the client specifically asks for it. What did the rest of you think, guys?
Well, I agree, but I think Robbie's already started working on that, right?
Oh, I don't mind dropping it.
If it isn't too late, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do something else. I'll do the edit one. I mean, there's probably things you might want to edit, like the kind of email address.
Mm-hmm.
Change the email address, but that's about it, I think, in terms of the edit.
Email address and reset password, maybe? Or
yeah, I'm not sure whether it's reset password handled by device.
Yes. Yeah, I think it should be just one method that you need to send. Let's look in the documentation.
Yeah, it is handled by device, but basically it is handled by device through that form.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that form is only to change the email, right?
No, you can change the password on that field too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just noticed something funny. Look, I'm looking at myself, but in the breadcrumbs, somebody else shows up.
That's weird.
Really?
No, wait, I wasn't looking at myself. Well, let me go back here. Oh, I came here, yeah, I came here like that, so I clicked on edit. Oh, I wonder if, sorry, I have a plugin that it might be pre-filling those fields in my browser. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe what we're saying is we should just drop the show and I should look at the edit instead and
Yeah.
include in that the reset password facility, how we would do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it through the active admin interface that we have in place now, like if you just click on edit and go through the process, there is nothing special about changing the password, except for you need to duplicate it, you need to type it twice. So it's handled essentially like updating any other attribute in that sense. Like there isn't anything special you need to do. And also the way it is handled, I can change, somebody else's password.
So, I mean, that's going to be sufficient. I mean, a lot of times when you get a reset password, it's kind of generated automatically and emailed out, this sort of thing. But what you're saying is because it's a small organization, we just have one admin user can set the password of another. Yeah, is that what you're saying, Nick?
Well, that's how it is now. And
Yeah.
Again, unless the client raises any kind of a concern, I mean, ideally, I kind of feel like it might be better to maybe put a few safeguards in place, so that, I don't know, a disgruntled employee doesn't lock everybody out of the system or something like that. But at the same time, this is how they've been operating since the beginning, and we haven't heard anything about this. So
Yeah. Okay. So I'll look at edit instead then, and
yeah,
with facilities for changing the email and the password just as it is an admin user, and we'll drop the show then. Yeah.
yeah.
So do you want me to try and delete that kind of user story, or do I have permission to delete that on the whatever?
I cannot answer the question whether you have permissions or not, but definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot, and then I'll stick a note on Slack if I can't do that then.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Robbie,
Yeah.
before you start working on the resetting password, my pull request that's 405, the authentication for Rails,
Yeah.
that has to be merged before you can start working on it, because you need the device to reset the password.
Okay. So
And
which one's that? That's
the last one in the list.
also 405.
Yes, that one.
Okay, and I mean the admin users index as well would be useful to have merged as well, so that I can build on top of that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll look at Christian's PR and merge it soon, and then my own, like I said, I'll just make that change that you suggested, and that should be fairly quick too.
Okay, that sounds a good plan. Then I'll start looking at that maybe tomorrow. Then. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Grand.
Anything else, guys?
Nope.
No. Christian, just for the record, I didn't catch your answer at the beginning. Can you merge commits into our official repo?
Well, I never did it, but looks like I can.
Okay. All right.
One more thing. We have a new pull request from Mago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He started working on this. The three buttons for the index sponsor. The view all sponsors for the orphan. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
for the orphan index. So view all orphans. View those eligible for sponsorship, and another button for view unsponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to our active admin testing or the production application,
Yeah.
go to the orphans page.
Yeah. There is only two, right?
Yeah, there's only two, but if you go to the right, to the filters, you can see there is uh, orphan sponsorship status. I can't see the drop down. It's not
Oh,
showing.
yeah. Yeah. It probably doesn't show up. Yeah. So there is any unsponsored, sponsored, previously sponsored, and on hold. So all the statuses.
Yeah. So let's. So for the button that says eligible sponsorship, it's all that are unsponsored or terminated. Sponsorship is terminated, right?
Sorry, say it again. The unsponsored.
So if you click on the eligible for
Yeah.
sponsorship,
So these are the ones that are either unsponsored, so they have never been sponsored, or that are previously sponsored.
yeah, exactly. And then should we have another button for the sponsors or not?
Um, I'm not sure who put that into the story on Jira.
Actually, I did, but
Yeah.
maybe it was wrong.
Well, again, I don't think the client is going to complain if we give them this little bit of extra functionality. I don't see anything wrong with that per se. It's just we need to make sure that we get it right. As Mago, I don't know if anybody's talked to him in person, so to speak, but he needs to be aware of, for example, of the fact that eligible are the ones that are both unsponsored and previously sponsored.
Yeah, I told him that.
Okay, good.
The other thing is if you click eligible for sponsorship, and then in the filters you select sponsored, it shows nothing. It's like confusing. I mean, it works well, but
Well, it does what it's supposed to do, I suppose. Because if you select the ones that are sponsored, none of them are eligible, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything for us to do here, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if the client gets briefly confused, they'll see these numbers and realize that they're on a category that doesn't display any records. But yeah, I mean, if we could dynamically change the filters, then so that when you go for when you switch over to the eligible for sponsorship, the filter doesn't give you the option to select the sponsored ones.
Huh.
But how you do that? Using Ajax or what?
Well, at the moment, this redraws the page completely, right? These are not asynchronous.
It's a new request.
It's a new request, so yeah, when you make that request, you can make sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a refinement that I think we can postpone. Like, I agree that there's a bit of a confusion that may happen, but I think they'll figure it out quickly enough.
Okay.
Um,
No
yeah.
priority anyway.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So it sounds like everybody has something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to it.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'll talk to you all again next week.
Okay. Cool.
Sure.
All right.
Just by the way, I mean, Tuesday evenings probably aren't the best for me because I'm sometimes out, but I'm usually in Thursday, so if I'm not around Tuesday, I'll speak to you on Thursday.
All right. Cool, Robbie.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, guys. Take care.